Hello again, I'm Dave and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. This video I want to talk a little bit about thinking where we put our hands on the neck when we're playing notes from a scale. So the obvious place to start with playing notes from a scale is like a scale box where the root note of the scale is on our first finger. So if we're playing in the key of A minor, using it like an A minor pentatonic, using that box there, first finger is the lowest note in the box on the E string is the A. Okay, but if we wanted to play something using that scale box, it was something legato, got a few slides in it, now moved away, and it's not convenient to play around that scale box anymore. But because of the way the guitar's tuned, the notes of the scale repeat themselves over the neck. So I can still use notes of the A minor pentatonic. I'm just using a different box. And if you've got a tool like PhatPhish, you can dial in the scale of your choice and see where all the notes of the scale appear on the neck, and you can start to see different scale boxes appearing. So the key to being a good guitar player is knowing where the notes of a scale are all over the neck. And the reason I mention this is it's not just a case of sort of convenience for being able to slide from one part of the neck to the other and using like nice legato movements like that, but it's also thinking about the way that the notes of a scale, where the same note, same octave, same pitch and everything, might sound played on different strings. That little lick that I played at the start, now I played two things, didn't I? I played that, and I played sounds subtly different. It's pretty much the same notes, but that note there, the C, because I'm playing C minor pentatonic, that C there sounds different to that C there. It's subtle, but there's a difference. That's got a bit more harshness to it, whereas this one it's a little bit softer, and that's because of the string that I'm playing on. There's a difference in voice, in timbre, between the thicker wound strings and the thinner treble strings, even for playing the same note. And this is something to consider when you're playing a solo, or you're playing a lead line, or even chords to that for that matter. Thinking about where you want to play it on the neck, where the notes that you want. It mightn't be that you want to play with like that obvious box where you're playing in a scale box where your first finger is the root note, is the lowest note in the scale box. Knowing where the notes are across the neck, you'll get subtly different voices. So for an example, just play something really, really simple. Squeeze. Yeah, really simple there, but the same notes in each case. But because sometimes I'm playing them on treble strings, or other times I'm playing them further up the neck on the wound strings, it sounds subtly different. And this is something to think about when you're playing solos, when you're playing lead lines and so on. If you want to get something that's kind of harsh and bitey and really cuts through, maybe looking for fingerings where you're making more use of the treble strings, you can get type of sounds where you're really making use of the treble strings and get something that really cuts through. Or if you wanted something a bit more soft and mellow, moving to a lower string, yeah, you get that softer sound because you're playing the thicker strings. And this is a really useful way of kind of changing the voice of your guitar without having to muck around with pickup switching or tone controls or anything like that. I know I did a video a little while ago, part of the Tone Talk series, where I'm sort of extolling the virtues of using the controls of your guitar to give you more, it's like more variety in the instrument's voice. But you don't always have that. I remember, back in the day, the thing for like rock guitarists was something really stripped down, super strat, one humbucker, one volume control, that was it. And I think the kind of learning on guitars like that gives you a sense of creativity, because you have to find ways to make sounds other than relying on the electronics. And finding different fingerings and different positions for playing things on the neck is a useful device for that. The other thing you can think about that gives you a different voice to your guitar is where you're picking relative to the bridge. Now you'll have a sort of a position on the where you hold the guitar, and your natural picking position it'll be somewhere around here. Some people kind of favour a bit more towards the bridge. Other people tend to favour a bit more towards the neck. Generally, I err towards the neck slightly. But you've got a natural picking position. But if you move your hand around, you can get some different voices. So playing the same thing, but just taking my hand back and picking closer to the bridge. That's a bit sharper, a bit twangier, or even picking over the neck. Yeah, that sounds much softer, so you get quite harsh and brittle and twangy as you go towards the bridge, and you get a bit softer and more mellow as you move towards the neck. So again, it's something else you can think about doing. This works on acoustic guitar as well, to give you different sorts of sound and voice, without resorting to electronic trickery. So yeah, guitar playing, it's not just about the notes that you play and how you play them, it's the voice that you use to play them. It's a bit like speech. It's not just the words that you use, it's kind of which are like the notes, and it's like the inflection in your voice and so on, which is the phrasing. But the tone of your voice, whether it's high-pitched and shrill or deep and booming, is sort of like the voice of the guitar, whether you're using pickup selectors and tone controls, or you're just being careful about where you position your fingers on the neck and where you pick the strings, or if you ditch the pick and use your fingers. So I can play something with my pick, or fingers and thumb. Yeah, completely different sound, because the attack on the strings is different. So that's all about, say, the guitar's voice. Not a particularly deep technical issue, but it's something to think about, and it helps you to sort of develop it as a guitar player. It's not just about churning out the notes and playing them. It's about how they're playing, how they sound, and it makes it so much more interesting for the listener. And I've talked before about the idea of like picking dynamics, whether you're picking hard or you're picking soft, to make something louder or quieter and just interesting. The same thing applies to how you're picking the strings, whether they're really cutting through or if it's a bit more mellow. It's all about the voice of the guitar, and it makes it more interesting for the listener and more interesting for you to play as well. Okay, so just a kind of a quick one today. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please click like down there. If you really enjoyed it and you want to see other videos that I post onto the channel, then please click subscribe. As always, you're welcome to leave a comment, but if you've got a specific question you want to ask me, whether it's about guitar technique, music theory, guitar playing, guitar hardware, equipment, anything like that, anything at all, you're probably better off going here, filling that form in and sending your question in that way. I don't always see comments on YouTube videos, but I do see questions that are sent in through that form, so I can get around to answering it for you in a future video. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.